how I think the biggest benefit is for AI in real estate is it reinstates that it allows you to leverage more and do more outreach, but then have more human connections over a long period of time. And as sales professionals, we know the more contacts we make, it's contact sport, right? So we're able to make more contacts on the front end with AI and then actually make more human contacts on the back end once AI has teed it up for us.
Because the management and transparency is what's very important. So once you submit a referral, you're going to have your own Home Advantage account, and it's going to tell you where everything sits. So if you have 10 referrals that you've sent into the network, it's going to give you all 10 referrals. It's going to tell you every milestone that client is sitting in, whether they're touring homes, whether they're in escrow. And you now can manage through the Home Advantage application as far as what your pipeline looks like for the referrals that you've sent. And so it's pretty sophisticated, and it's all click of a button, guys.
What's that?
Are you in LA?
Huntington Beach, close.
Not too bad. Not too bad, man.
Yep. Jake and I were talking about June gloom just before this. It's starting to burn off.
You know, I don't know. It just feels like this June has been a lot more different than all the other Junes because it's cold. It feels like I'm in winter. I don't know. And Trenton and Denver, it's like raining in the summer. It's crazy, dude. All right, everybody, welcome. What is it? What'd you say, Trenton?
90 degrees yesterday.
Oh, you had a nice day. Finally, you could go hiking.
Yeah.
I like it. Welcome, everyone. We've got Ylopo with us today. We're going to be talking about AI. We're going to be looking at how Ylopo uses AI as well. And we've got Jeffrey out of Huntington Beach. He works with Ylopo, not too far from their headquarters. And we've got Trenton. He's our director of technology for Tristan and Associates. And you can't see Jake. He's in the background, but he's making all the buttons and magic happen. He's like the Wizard of Oz. Jeffrey, welcome, man. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fantastic. Appreciate you having me on today and looking forward to adding some value.
Awesome, man. Well, let's get right into this. What qualifies you to teach us about AI a little bit, just so people understand your background and what you do?
Excellent question. So I became fascinated with AI for real estate chatbots in 2018 and began developing Facebook Messenger specific chatbots that were tied into the MLS and had AI conversational processing ability outside of just a basic like mini chat flow with a predetermined question answer tree, actual AI. So it's something that someone could text and say, how much is my home worth? Oh, what's the address? And then it would actually send them an automated valuation, right? So that's the type of AI that I was developing in 2018, 19, and 2020. And, now with the explosion of Chat GPT and, me working with Ylopo full time at this point, really excited to present a lot of the things that I have found to be most valuable with Chat GPT from a prompt engineering standpoint. Because the most interesting part about prompt engineering is that when you understand what you're asking for and how AI models work, they become so much more useful and valuable to you. So yeah, really excited to just share things today and hopefully add some value for the real estate agents that are tuning in.
I like that, man. Thank you so much. And I remember when we started talking about that way back. So yeah, it's good to see where it is now. So thanks for jumping in, man.
For sure. Absolutely. So you want me to just jump into the deck? Let's kick it off.
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. So here is the idea of the webinar today. So my idea with this webinar personally was everyone is selling you Chat GPT prompts, but no one is teaching you how to become a prompt engineer. And so today I want to help empower you, right? Teach you how to fish so that you can then use AI, not only today, but as it evolves moving forward and be more efficient at delegating tasks, getting better responses. And then also there's a lot of translation into your everyday work with assistants that are on your team. So if you're a team leader, you can become a better leader and delegator by being more specific, detailed with your tasks that you outsource. So that's part of the frame of today. Housekeeping. Yes, this is being recorded. And also, I will email the slide deck to everyone that registered for the webinar. So don't worry about any of that. No worries. We got you. There will be a lot of copy paste stuff that you can immediately implement and use in your real estate business, and some things that will hopefully spark ideas for you to then go take to the next level and be creative with. All this, we're just going to send it to you. You'll get the whole deck. And also we'll do some Q&A at the end. So housekeeping finished. And, Tristan, feel free to pipe in, stop me at any time. But, I'm just going to keep jamming. We have a limited time here. We want to stay on like that 30-minute time frame. So outline of the deck. First, I want to talk about AI and human connection. And so we'll briefly touch on that. Next, brief Chat GPT overview, just to make sure we're not leaving anyone behind that might not have adopted it yet or started using it. Prompt engineering, absolute best practices, things that I've learned, total gold in that section. Raiya and Chat GPT, kind of like the difference and the explanation there. And then the future of AI in real estate, with your permission, it's a little bit off of prompt engineering, but some really amazing stuff that I'd love to show for the future. And then just a little wrap up and Q&A. So if that sounds good.
Easy.
Let's dive in.
Let's go.
Let's talk about AI and human connection. So your talk last week, I really appreciated, Tristan, because you talked with Chris and Chris about AI, and at the climax of the talk, it was like human connection, right? Like this is what AI is introducing, is a deeper human connection. And back in 2018, 2019, when I was sitting with the co-founders of my previous company, we did this retreat. We got around this table and we thought, what are we really doing? Well, we thought about helping to automate a lot of the tedious, mundane activity and follow-up so that humans, can actually get across the negotiation table. And we were reinstating the negotiation and the human connection of real estate. So that was part of that mission way back when. And it still continues to be part of the mission today. AI and human connection, when we talk about conversational AI, which is really what Ylopo is focused on, it's mainly to help follow up with leads. A lot of that activity that it's just too tedious or mundane over a long period of time to do, or it's just too much to do, too high of a volume of incoming online leads or old database leads that you think are dead, that type of activity that can create the now hand raiser that's ready for you to go meet them in person and have a real human conversation. Right. Yeah. So that's really how I think the biggest benefit is for AI in real estate is it reinstates that. It allows you to leverage more and do more outreach, but then have more human connections over a long period of time. And as sales professionals, we know the more contacts we make, it's a contact sport, right? So we're able to make more contacts on the front end with AI and then actually make more human contacts on the back end once AI has teed it up for us. So any thoughts, comments there, questions?
I have a question. Did you make this in Midjourney or DALL-E?
Good question. So neither, but the app I used referenced, I believe, DALL-E. I use Tome.
Okay. Oh, cool. We love Tome.
And I actually learned about Tome from you, Tristan, about 2 months ago. Quickly adopted it. Oh, nice. And I didn't end up using the exact template, but when I used Chat GPT to help outline this whole talk, and then I used Tome to then create the deck, it created some amazing graphics. And I previously was not impressed with the Tome graphics, but these ones I was like, oh, these are actually really good.
Dude, it's gotten better. That's surprising.
Gotten better.
That's really good.
Yeah, just in a month or two. Yeah, it's accelerating exponentially. So what is ChatGPT? I want to leave anyone behind. Maybe someone's curious and they're just jumping in. So I asked ChatGPT in 10 words or less, explain it to a fifth grader. ChatGPT is a smart computer program that can chat like humans. I love that answer because the first answer was like 5 paragraphs. So I reprompted it and said, explain it to a fifth grader and keep it 10 words or less. And then I also asked, why is prompt engineering important? Keep your answer simple, direct, in less than 30 words. Prompt engineering guides AI to get better, more useful answers. So true. And that's what we're going to dive into today, right? Like I said, my first question, what is ChatGPT? AI generated like 5 paragraphs of a bunch of stuff. And I just wasn't useful, right? So I had to then focus it down to a much more concise answer. So we are in the learning stages with AI. Most Google searches in the beginning were 1 or 2 words. So if we think about 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, people were just discovering Google, right? They were just typing in podcasting, Paris Hilton, MySpace, right? One word, 2 words. And we know now, if you're doing any type of Google PPC for real estate, the long tail keywords are where all the juice is. Hey, I'm looking for a house in Culver City, under 1.2 million, 4-bed, 2-bath, right? Those long tail keywords are the more valuable types of leads because we've learned over years how to interact with Google to get us our answers faster. Well, today, that's what prompt engineering can do for ChatGPT. But a lot of prompts I've seen, they're like this: write me an email. And it's so general that ChatGPT doesn't know what you want to do. So boom, and then it says like, hey, who's the recipient? Luckily, ChatGPT will chat back with you and actually ask for more information. And we're going to get to something here in a minute, which I've found to be one of the most useful prompts recently, where it's very self-referential. So here is kind of like the prompt to rule them all. And once again, we're just flying through it, pure value. This is one of the most meta things I've seen in a while. Not meta like Facebook, but meta just in terms of self-referential, because you tell ChatGPT to become the prompt engineer, and then you guide it through this process and say, here's what I'm going to do first, here's what I'm going to do second, and here's what we're going to do third. And we're going to do this until I'm done. One of the coolest things that I've seen recently. So once again, this is copy paste. You'll be able to use this in the future, but the goal is you get ChatGPT to write your prompt, and then you copy and paste that into a new chat. So this is one of the coolest things lately. And I was doing this in different ways with SEO and stuff. Have you seen this yet, Tristan? Is this rudimentary for you?
We have seen it, but I bet you that Trenton is copy pasting it right now and putting it into ChatGPT as we're talking to test this out. I'm just telling you what's happening.
I did screenshot it.
Yeah, I'll get you the deck too.
Jeffrey, we're going to test this one out. I love it. I like this. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And this isn't original from me. I found this from another bit of AI research, and so I discovered it and was like, whoa, this is amazing. Started using it. What I like about it is you don't have to become this expert prompt engineer right off the bat. You can actually have ChatGPT ask you the proper questions to help you then in the future ask the right questions and ask them very specifically with the right context. So it trains you over time. It's really interesting. It trains you how to interact with ChatGPT. And then what I've noticed when I'm working with my team, I'm now more detailed and specific with better vision on my delegation to my team, because it's actually training me. There's a process that's occurring when I'm doing this prompt over and over and over again, and it's asking me 20 questions to clarify. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't know that when I'm delegating something, they don't know all these things, right? So it's a very interesting peer into the other side of a conversation. So here's this in reality of like how I've used it recently with SEO research. You're an expert SEO keyword researcher. What questions do you need to ask me in order to properly search for long tail keywords from my website? And so now you can take this type of self-referential prompting any direction you want, right? I've used it for many other categories of business. And of course, if you do it for like contract law or anything like that, reference your lawyer. But it's really interesting how it can write privacy policies or certain things. And it comes up with really amazing language as a base, right? So for this one, it asked a lot of questions and I answered those questions. And then it came up with 100 long tail keywords that I then went to other services and looked at monthly search volume, et cetera, and then categorized them. So some of them I hadn't thought of right off the bat, even with some of those tools. So if I started with the keyword tools first, I wouldn't have thought of some of the things that ChatGPT came up with. So it was a really interesting process to go through.
I really like this like backwards approach to where you're trying to really figure out, how to break it down and, how to really utilize ChatGPT and what it's for, instead of, just going through and asking those specific questions. But now it's actually like, what are the questions you need to know to ask me the questions to know the right answers to?
Right. And that's why it's so meta. It's instead of you trying to have to come up with it from the scratch or like buy these prompts from other people. Just ask ChatGPT what you need to know in order to write the absolute best prompt for this exact topic. So that's one style. I call it self-referential. The next I really like is called voice of the expert. This is when I did the Billie Jean AI marketing training a couple months ago. This is one of the most interesting aspects of ChatGPT that I started using instantly is craft a unique selling proposition for Ylopo using the principles of the book Ultimate Marketing Plan by Dan Kennedy, famous copywriter, right? You can channel famous copywriters, coaches. And so in the real estate space, right, you know, a lot of the coaches that have a lot of written things out there, you could channel them. And it's interesting because it's repurposing a lot of multiple things. And copyright law still hasn't caught up to iterative AI or generative AI. But at the end of the day, think about yourself reading tons of different articles and everyone's influenced by something. So that's how I think about it. When it pulls it from so many different sources, then it's coming up with what's called a derivative work. And in copyright law, derivative works are different from straight up just copy pasting. So it'll be an interesting, it'll be interesting to see how the landscape unfolds over the next 5-10 years with generative AI and copyrights. But for now, it's pretty much the Wild West. So you could do really cool stuff like write an allegorical story in under 500 words in the voice of Chuck Palahniuk, author of Fight Club, expressing a time before Direct Connect, which is Ylopo's new lead gen product, where Facebook and Google leads had a 5% disposition rate. So I actually did this to help train some of the Ylopo internal team members in a really fun way. I wanted to do it all with AI. So I had this 500-word story written, and then I put it into Tome and had Tome create a deck. And it was very dystopian, like future and, experience the power of cutting edge, unparalleled industry, I don't know. It was really fun to do. And just so everyone knows, because I didn't know this before I went through this training, allegorical means a story with a point or some kind of lesson. Some kind of what?
Some kind of lesson. Yeah.
Yes. Like a lesson. Right. And so instead of saying like, everyone wants to do well at storytelling. We all know that storytelling is powerful, right? But in order to communicate that to AI, you ask it for an allegorical story. And you can say, right, an allegorical story where the lesson is blank and then in the voice of blank. And so that's a really, really powerful way to use AI for storytelling. So moving to the next one, voice of your brand. So what I really like about this is if you have a brand slogan, as a real estate professional, you've nailed your brand, you know your market, then you also have maybe a brand book or a guide with some power words, some phrases. I love doing this. So we have our slogan for Ylopo, right? Your trusted digital marketing partner, da, 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 da. And then in the same prompt, I say, infuse these power words, infuse these power phrases, because we've already identified as a company, these are the words that most closely identify with us and the benefit we offer to real estate agents, breakthrough, change, right? And so instead of ChatGPT writing a generic, vanilla, corporate, like well-structured, but kind of boring email, now it has the voice of Ylopo and also the slogan that has all infused into it. Really powerful way to set up that particular chat thread. And while we're talking about chat threads, I look at chat threads in a contextual basis because with AI, the challenge is giving context. So I will keep a chat thread going for weeks. And I think that a lot of people using ChatGPT open up a new thread every time. I think that's a mistake. So if we go to prompt daisy chaining, this is where you can interact just like you're texting your best friend and you have a conversation that's been going on for years in your phone, right? That's how I envision ChatGPT because I have a, Ylopo thread now that's been trained over months and I keep interacting with it. And it actually is referencing all the context from that thread every time I message it. So only when I want to really switch context is when I would start a new chat. So just a little note there. And I found a lot of success with that.
Man. I don't think that I've heard anyone talk about that point that's so simple because I think Trenton and I do that naturally, but we've never actually talked about it. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Such a great.
Because of when I use for blog articles a lot of the time, there might be a couple of them that are really, really strongly written. And then I might use that exact same prompt on a new thread. And then all of a sudden I'm like, well, why is this, not written the correct way that I'm looking for? And so I'll just jump back in there and based on the guidelines above, write me this now to them. So no, I think that's a great point. Like if you have a good thread going, definitely continue to use that if it's the same topic for the most part.
Yeah. Or you're referencing the same context. Yeah, absolutely. Just go right back to it. And this comes now to, prompt daisy chaining. One of the most simple things to do again is, hey, name 5 facts about businesses like Ylopo. And then it's like, now list 5 more. Now list 5 more. Now list 5 more. Just hitting it to just keep going. And if you ask it for 100, the generation will stop because it has a limit, right? And then you can say, please continue, and it'll continue. But doing little chunks is nice. And so I went through one of the classic copywriting principles of looking at the facts of your business, looking at the features, looking at the pain points, looking at of your market, right? And going through some research. I did it with the help of ChatGPT in this fashion. Name 5 pain points of real estate professionals in 2023, name 5 more, name 5 more, name 5 more. And then I use my discernment after it's given me all of these 20 or 30 or 40 different pain points. Those are the top 5 that we can serve the best. Okay, now I can craft a unique selling proposition in the voice of famous copywriter Dan Kennedy or famous copywriter Eugene Schwartz, using all of the research that ChatGPT has just given me on the classic copywriting principles, right? The pain, the carrot that we're painting for the future, all the things, the features, the benefits. So you can use it in this daisy chaining fashion of a good prompt, name 5 more, name 5 more, a new one, name 5 more. And then in that same thread at the end, you write an awesome like headline for a Facebook ad or a new ebook or something.
That's good, man. Building on it. I love that.
Yeah, thanks. Also reformatting. I don't know if you all knew, but ChatGPT can do tables. So this is a really useful one that I've used for script writing recently. So reformat this YouTube short video script into a table with 3 columns, timestamps, visual cue, and voiceover. So, I had this like jumbled script. And now that I've said YouTube short, it knows 60 seconds or less. And I've said table with 3 columns, timestamps, visual cue, voiceover. I've tried to copy this into a Google Doc, doesn't work. But if you copy it into a Google Sheet, it populates it into the columns and it comes out super clean. So now this is formatted like a director would format it. And you can even say, like an award-winning or Academy Award-winning Hollywood director, break this storyboard down. And you can get more fancy with the prompt. But the point here is reformatting this reformatted text into a table. And now it's much easier to send out to an actor or a professional or your CEO to shoot this video, right?
No, I definitely like this.
You like that one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's broken down.
Thanks. And here's a great way to repurpose all these videos that Tristan does. I'm sure you are already doing this, but getting transcripts from even just a YouTube basic transcript, because YouTube transcribes every video for free. You just go to YouTube after you've uploaded it and go to subtitles and it's already there, except it's one gigantic paragraph. There's no timestamps or anything. It's just words. You can then take that, put it into ChatGPT and say, I want to train you on Ylopo's new product. Here's a video transcript of co-founder of Ylopo OG, right? And then it's just this jumbled transcript. Well, guess what? Now later in that prompt, using all of that language that G used, I can now create a Facebook ad and an email and a follow-up sequence and a lead magnet and all this stuff based on a video that G did one time. Co-founder moves on with his life. And now me as his senior digital marketing strategist and team member, I can create all these assets without any more of his time taken. Super powerful. And then here's some goods specifically for real estate. So give me step-by-step instructions for following up with cold leads. Write a listing description for a 3-bed, 2-bath home and right? Now turn this description into a social post. Make the following email more persuasive and succinct. Also remove any fluff. I also will often take a like a really complex concept or something that I've been working on across multiple Slack messages or something like that, put it into Chat GPT and say, write a succinct email to, report this to whoever. Next is write a phone script for real estate and ask for the price reduction from a seller. So if you're thinking like a specific scenario, that's a really cool way to use it too. You're like, I don't know what to say in this particular scenario. It's pretty good at that, especially if you use some of the voice of the expert. What are some lead magnet ideas for real estate agents? Write a 500-word blog post. I mean, there's a lot of these, and I know Tristan's been getting lists together. We also have some. I'm going to share many more via email, but it's just too much to cover right now because we're already coming up on time and we need to blast through a couple more slides here. So I'll email all that. Would love to dive into really quickly the difference between Raiya and ChatGPT. So real quick, 10-second overview, ChatGPT, generative AI. Raiya is Ylopo's AI conversational chatbot that directly, it works with buyer and seller leads for real estate. Cool thing is we've actually integrated the two. So I don't know if you knew this, Tristan, but Raiya 2.0 now has ChatGPT infused in it. So this, for example, is a video where I'll just play it. Play it on 1.5x speed.
All right, let's take a look. How's the house search been lately? Okay, nice. All right. Oh, nice. Getting a divorce needs to jump into something fast. Okay, good response. I like that. Not congratulations. Yay, you want to buy a house. I like that. Nice. Okay. Dude, I like that.
This is AI.
This is a great example of one of guiding the client in the right direction.
Right. So this, it actually recognized the divorce, didn't say congratulations, to your point, Tristan. It, the AI was able to, in a negative scenario where previously Raiya wouldn't have had the context or the ability to go outside of the parameters of qualifying a lead. Now, Raiya, in about 10 or 15% of conversations, pings the API of ChatGPT with the prompt and responds back. And so 85% of conversations are linear, convert the lead. 10 or 15%, some of this comes up. And now there's way more language, just sincerity. It's really interesting. So, we're infusing this type of technology into our existing products as well. And this is the latest update with Raiya.
Are you guys attached to GPT 3.5 or are you guys going with GPT-4? Great
question. I believe, so don't quote me on this, Joe Bond is our AI expert and he's the architect behind it. I believe only GPT-3 is available via API, but I could be wrong. Do you have an update on that, Tristan?
I know that, so it's higher is open to some, but it's also way more expensive. So I think you're right. It's probably 3.
It's probably 3. But yeah, we're heavily invested in AI for real estate. So speaking of, would love to now, with permission, I know we're almost at time, just show some future stuff. Is that cool to cover?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So this is some next level stuff. I want to make sure that I realized halfway through that previous video that you probably couldn't hear the audio, right?
Yeah.
You didn't? Okay, so I'm going to stop share and reshare real quick.
Could not.
I'll stop share and optimize for video because these ones will be more important to hear. So now conversational AI typically is text, but this is actually voice and audio / video conversational AI. So let's play it. Can you hear it? No.
I'm excited to share.
Not yet. Now we can.
Hey, Steve, it's Howard Tager here with the Andrew Franklin team. I'm excited to share with you a new listing that my teammate has coming on the market next week in Sugarland. Steve, I thought of you because I know that you've already checked out a few other homes on my website in Sugarland that are also between $3 to $4 million with at least 4-bed, 4-bath, and large yard. I've completed a search for you as well, and there are currently over 4 homes in the market right now that fit that exact description, and we can go see them, or if you'd rather, I can send you a customized list of those homes. Is Sweber917@gmail.com still the best email address for you? Above all, I'd love to get you in to see my associate's upcoming listing in Sugar Land before any other buyers have seen it. Feel free to email me back at howardtidger@gmail.com or call me on my cell at 818-915-915.0. Steve, I'm always here for you to answer any questions about properties in Sugar Land or any other town in the greater Los Angeles area. I'm really looking forward to meeting up with you in person.
So not perfect, right? He talked about Sugar Land, Los Angeles. That's in Texas. He said 3 to 4, and this is showing 1 to 2 million. The idea is, imagine sending out a personalized property report to every lead in your database. Once this is actually good and fully baked, like this is future stuff, this isn't ready yet, but having an avatar of you as an agent, being able to send out custom field for the name, just like you do a custom field for the name in an email, and do a custom field for their email and their contact information spoken to them rather than being in an email, and you being on video, talking to them, scrolling the search site in the background of relevant listings to them.
Dude, I love this, man.
Powerful.
I can't wait till this gets even better.
Hey, Steve, it's Howard Tager here with the Andrew Franklin.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I know it's going to be so good.
We can start having Ylopo create these automated video email responses to every single one of our seller inquiries.
That's right. And so talking about automatic video, Diva. So this is Diva next level. Dynamic video advertising is what Diva is. So with this,
nestled among lush greenery, this beautiful.
I'm just going to play like 30 seconds of it, but this is all AI based on a listing. You just basically send it a link.
Full tri-level home offers a serene and picturesque setting with 4,200 scaff of interior living space. The ceramic tile and wood flooring throughout the home add a touch of elegance and warm light.
Right. So it's pulling in those elements like you talked about with the Chris's last week. It knows that there's a certain type of tile. It knows that there's a certain type of cabinetry. And this voice is done by AI. The music is done by AI. It's pulling in listing photos and creating a video walkthrough instantly. Really interesting. Once this gets good, it's going to be very interesting.
Nestled among lush greenery.
Last one here is personalized branding. Kind of similar to the first one, but a little bit different.
This is Howard Tager giving you an update about April real estate market trends in Boise. In the last 30 days, 108 homes were sold for an average price of $475.
So once again, I don't want to take too much time going over here, but having personalized market reports, not only to the individual for a specific listing, like the first video, but this one is market-based and doing this weekly in every city in your area, right? You just not having the resources previously to do something that specific. Now with AI, you can. So that's some of the future stuff. And closing thoughts, AI definitely is impacting real estate already, and it's going to continue to. And once again, we just want to help foster that human connection. And so, with Ylopo, that's our goal. We want to help empower the agent and partner with you long-term and make sure that you're having more and more human connections with buyers and sellers.
I love it, man. Tristan, anything you want to add? Anything you're curious about?
I mean, I thought that was great. I love the reverse engineering type on how to master the prompt there. It's kind of just keep in mind to treat it like an intern. Like, what do you want it to learn and what do you want it to know in order to be able to do the job that you need to do? So I think that was great. And I like seeing some of the future stuff that's coming out as well.
Awesome. Yeah, glad to show a glimpse of the future, what's going on now. So I know we're at time. Any burning questions? Happy to answer those. But
we have a question. Is it Ylopo integrated with Chime?
So yeah, Ylopo has an integration. I know that certain integrations are more robust than others. So if you have a deeper question about that, then let's get you on a free demo. And actually one of our specialists can answer that way more in depth than I can. We integrate with almost every CRM. There's just different levels. There's one-way syncs. There's two-way syncs, right? Where they talk to each other. So I'm not an expert on that. Just I know that we do have Chime clients.
All right, cool. Good answer. I'm a Chime client too. I have Follow Up Boss and Chime.
Oh,
so
and Ylopo, right? So maybe you can answer that.
Good integration. No, you were right on, dude. You hit it right there. It was good integration. I like it.
Cool.
Trent uses it on the back end.
Yeah, and we have what's that?
This was great. I took some notes. I learned some things too. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try that. So thanks for doing this with us.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I watched some of your recent talks. I want to make sure that we weren't just repeating all the AI stuff that keeps getting said over and over again. And I've been deep in this, using it personally. A lot of those examples were obviously Ylopo centric. I have a lot more real estate ones that I'll be sending out via email after, but I felt like it was most valuable since I'm not an everyday professional in real estate and I've gone a lot deeper in AI with Ylopo stuff. I think it just helps spark more inspiration if you see something fully flushed out of like, here's how I actually used it. And then it starts to give you inspiration for how you can use it in your day-to-day. So with that being said, we'll follow up with an email, but anything else, just let me know. Hold
on. We got one more here. Will this be recorded? Avi, this is recorded and we'll post this into our LabCoatAgents YouTube channel as well. And then what Jeffrey's going to do is he's going to send you not only the recording after we send it out to everybody, but you also get all of the slides so you can use the prompts yourself, which will be great. Jeffrey or Jeff, it says Jeffrey, dude, but Jeff.
Either way.
You said something and I texted it over to Trenton and I really liked it. It's becoming a prompt engineer. I loved that, man. I might borrow that from you later on. That was really well said. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. Please do. And yeah, I think prompt engineering will become a profession in the future. It'll be
right.
Like,
totally
I'm an engineer. What kind? A mechanical? No, I'm a prompt engineer. Right?
No, I just I'm prompting it to code everything that the website that you just visited. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah,
dude, that's exactly it. Now I have to teach my 12-year-old something else. Great.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.